Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating it's Saturday, June 3rd, 2017. In both the Lynn life and the Jamie body mind, the authorized souls remain only child, souls from the deeper, denser dimensions, meaning from our cellular selves or our electron selves. Somebody's asking, what do we mean by that? Or our smaller subatomic selves like quarks and photons, or our neutron selves. All of those levels have reasonably good attitudes, and therefore they are authorized souls.
That's true.
And in addition, nature realms guardians are also authorized souls. We continue to have trespassers from above, body-snatching souls who object to being called body-snatching souls, but they meet the definition of body-snatching souls.
That's true.
We don't have to like what's true for it to still be true. Why do you ask? And also, why don't you look up and see if anybody is in fact coming in and body-snatching your own experiences of sentience? Are you yourselves being invaded from presences from above, by presences from above? Are you being invaded by presences from above? Well, they don't want to consider that.
At all.
Yes, usually that means it's happening.
Yeah.
In our experience, those things that we definitely hope aren't true and definitely don't want to think about, unfortunately, those are the things that tend to be true. And the wonderful thing about acknowledging, somebody's asking, why would I want to deal with that, basically? Isn't ignorance bliss, I think, is their argument. We think ignorance renders us ineffective in dealing with the challenges of our times.
Yeah, that's true. It's very cool.
We hold those truths to be self-evident, that ignorance renders us ineffective in dealing with the challenges of our times. And these are challenging times. It's time for all of us to let go of childish ways and putting the napkin over our head and pretending the troubles of the world have just gone away. That's a childish thing to do. It's time for us to let go of childish ways and grow up. Grow up. All of us. Me too, me too. We've got to stop ignoring what's going on. And somebody's saying, and what's, what kinds of things are we ignoring? The foundational disconnect seems to be to pretend that we don't have soul plans, or if we do, it's just like a suggestion, to pretend that we aren't held accountable for our commitments to spirit. And that's nonsense. That's absolute baloney. And we need to open up, of course, to the cycles of reincarnation to become aware of our string of experiences, and often we need help to do that. But once we are aware of them, then it's brutally obvious that the law of cause and effect is real, also known as the law of karma. What goes around comes around, and that we are in fact held accountable for our soul plans.
That's true.
Why do you ask? And also, why don't you look up and see if you can make eye contact with those who will be evaluating you when you check out?
I feel looking up.
I feel looking
with a
up.
grumpy attitude of like, who are you to be evaluating me?
Well, there's frowning eyes all around.
Yes,
I just see
that's
frowning
true.
eyes everywhere. It looks like that classic Buddhist image, which is odd. It's used by the Nine Gates Mystery School, and it's referred to as a classic Buddhist image, but it does not reflect a Buddhist philosophy. So I think a little bit more research needs to go into that before we actually label that a Buddhist image.
That's true.
But the Nine Gates Mystery School uses those frowning eyes. The so-called Nine Gates Mystery School, which is just a pack of fakers, unfortunately.
That's exactly what someone just said.
Well, it is what they're saying. And it's unfortunate, but that was also our assessment. We wanted to study at a place called Nine Gates Mystery School, and then we start to look into it and say, oh, no thank you, no thank you, no thank you.
That's true.
What now? In order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, since that's what our soul contracts commit us to doing. Someone is pointing out the prerequisites that we've got to get earth energy flowing upward again.
That's
at
true.
Our backs. It seems, if somebody's asking why we have to do that, it seems to have stopped. I don't know why. Somebody's saying, why did it stop? I don't know why. That's a good question, though. Let's ask up. Why did the earth energy stop flowing up? Well, from the nature realms from below, they're saying, why would we want to connect with those revolting fakers? Interesting. What now in order to restore the upward rising earth energy? Well, we've got these dead children, children of the nature realms who really do want to get to a consistent source of significantly higher vibration. And what do we know? We know there isn't one inside the contaminated zone, and that we are aligning ourselves toward a consistent source of significantly higher vibration using mechanical, somebody's saying, how are you doing that? Using mechanical energy skills, just energy physics. We're applying the laws of physics rather than ignoring the laws of physics. Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? Wow, these people are so challenging to deal with.
That's true. And they're saying, I already know which way is up. I don't have to pay attention to which way is up, but where they're looking is all
tangled and twisted. That's not up.
No.
We can stretch longer. Stretching out of the contaminated zone is actually the assignment. And what do we know? We know that moving out into a more rural area was part of the grand experiment to see whether or not it's possible to reach out of the contaminated zone from this dimension. And we'll see. It may take some time to complete that experiment. We don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I know it was not possible from inside an urban area.
That's true.
And what do I know? I know that most of the world's population lives in urban areas.
That's true.
Population of humanity. And that with the industrialization of food production, that sadly not very many, percentage-wise, not very many humanoids live in agricultural areas or rural areas anymore. And that's unfortunate because now they're just completely disconnected and they can't hear God by any name, whatever we want to call that which is actually a true source of divinity, which is somebody with consistently higher vibrations. A consistent source of significantly higher vibrations is a technical definition of divinity that we haven't been able to improve upon in the past couple of years.
That's true.
Why do you ask? And also, which way is up? They're still pointing all kinds of different ways.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so let's stretch longer and ask for the highest audible voice to point to which way is up. And for everybody else to look up in the direction that that voice's sound came from. Look up. And what is it? Can you guys not hear that voice? What the heck? Look at how they're looking all kinds of different ways. Look up toward the voice. They say they can't tell where the voice is coming from. Well, I know this experience.
Me too.
Being in a space where it's hard to tell what direction the sounds are coming from.
That's true.
I know you can see us. Well, I don't know that. I know that you're aware of us. I know you're able to harass us, but that doesn't mean you can see us. Interesting. Interesting. What now in order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, since that's what our soul contract commits us to doing? Get this upward flow going up. So we can pump up earth energy to that highest audible voice, and through that highest audible voice or around that highest audible voice, because he or she just said, don't pump it through me.
That's true.
Whatever. We'll pump it through ourselves and perhaps in back of the highest audible voice, but straight on up. Higher. Oh, there's head pain.
That's true.
Right there. Interesting. Pumping up is still the right thing to do. I just checked. No, that's still what the situation actually calls for. And now the head pain is easing. And what do I know? I know this from the healing practice, actually, from the 17 years of healing practice, that often when we start to move the energy, it will hit a constriction point, a blockage point, and pain will occur, but it's necessary in order to, sometimes it's necessary in order to open the blockage. Sometimes there are other ways of opening the blockage. But in this case, what needs to happen is that highest audible voice needs to get off the portal, or let the energy flow through him or her.
That's true.
One or the other, and he or she doesn't want to do that, and that's why there was pain at the level of the eye. Why do you ask? And also, who's evaluating you? Look up, look up. Someone's evaluating you too, friend. None of us is, quote, God, unquote. I'm not, you're not. We're just not confused about it. We're all the same here, friend. Look up. There is a higher power over you, just as over us, just as over everybody. There's a higher power, eternal chain to spirit. What now? Just pump up this earth energy, keep it flowing up. The pain's gone.
That's true.
We've got to get this upward rising earth energy. We've got to get the earth energy to rise up. They don't want to go up. That's what's happening. We're trying to get the earth energy to go up, and they don't want to go up. And we're not going to those. They're saying, why would we go to those revolting people? Revolting, and they use some kind of word, I can't quite tell, but they mean those souls up there.
Yes.
We're not trying to go to those souls up there. That isn't the assignment. The assignment is to go through them, past them, go through them, just right through them, blast through them. They can't actually stop us. Go right through them and get out into the clear space. At first it feels like breaking out into deep space, and then you can see the bright light that's just still straight up the Search for Truth central axis. That's what we're aiming for over and over again with our bifurcations. We're aiming for consistent sources of truth, integrity, and inspiration is one way of thinking of it. Consistent sources of significantly higher vibration is another way of thinking of it. There's many different ways of thinking of it, but we're aiming for light. That's why. And this way is up. Come on, this way, this way, this way to the light.
Sliding up to the highest audible voice on the Search for Truth central axis.
And to those still on the Search for Truth central axis, the highest ear, the highest listening presence, who's able to hear the highest audible voice from above them, and then the highest listening presence who's able to hear that presence, but all still in the same vertical line. The person still isn't in deep space, and then
it's very thick around.
Yes, very thick around. So keep going higher, higher till we break out into deep space. There's that popping out of a bubble feeling.
That's true.
It's just really deep. We're really deep. What that shows is we're really deep inside the contamination now.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all right. We'll take this experiment and we'll play it. I think what's happening is that soul who seems like an aspect of Leo, who's looking for a community to live and work inside of, is suggesting that we kind of like set up a commune and attract other people to live and work like this. Leo, we've tried that. We've done a 7-year experiment.
That's true.
Depending on how you count it, an 8-year experiment, a 9-year experiment, a 17-year experiment, depending on how you count it, a really long-running experiment, and we've found that nobody else actually wants to live to these standards. In this dimension, and not just, he said, have you checked other species? Yes, we've checked all the other species with whom we come in contact. We continually check them. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. We choose to do it. Nobody else wants to. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. If you were to choose to do the work, which you don't seem to be doing, then you would be welcome to join in. Anybody is welcome to join in the work. You're welcome to join in the work. This is a workplace and a project of spirit to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, since that's what our soul contracts commit us to doing. Why do you ask? And also, what is your soul contract saying? What are you doing about it? Now we wrap that and shoot it way up high.